Everything these days costs way more than it should, from gas to groceries. For many seniors, it wouldn't take much for everything to come crashing down like Galloping Gertie. Hi, and welcome. I'm here to discuss many of the issues that affect us over 50 and over 60-year-old people. My name is Bob, and I'm the crusty creator. So, can retirees make it work on a fixed income? Some of us have some savings, but some have very little savings. Some have none. Some of us have assets, but others have a mortgage too. All of us have those monthly expenses: taxes, income tax, property tax, rent, utilities, all of that. Those monthly bills just keep going up and up and up. The 2026 economy is terrifying. As I said, many folks have no savings at all. Lots of folks like me have a little bit of savings, but still have to work part-time to make ends meet. And others are able to make a go of it with downsizing and some careful budgeting. Thankfully, I own my own car, but it's 10 or 11 years old now, and so very soon it's going to be costing me more to maintain it than it will to replace it. I still have a mortgage on my house, which means that the bank really owns the house. My ex-wife and I bought this house when our oldest was just over 2. We wanted more kids and needed a family home. The neighborhood was full of young families with kids about the same age as mine. There was potential for lots of friends, playmates. The house had a big family room, and it had a good-sized backyard. There was a park really close and a school within a couple of blocks. It was perfect. Over the years, we made improvements to the house, like homeowners do. And some of those improvements, like adding a fence or pouring the pad for a new shed, required pouring concrete. And whenever I did that, I used to have one of the kids put their palm prints in the concrete for posterity. When my marriage ended, amicably, I might add, she wanted to sell the house, and I didn't. I wanted the kids to have a legacy. I wanted them to have something to inherit. And even if they didn't choose to live here, they could sell it and split the proceeds, or they could keep it as a partnership and have rent it out as passive income. But not only that, those little palm prints in the concrete were too precious to me. And so I took out a new mortgage and I paid out my ex-wife her half of the equity. Since then, selling the house so that I could live debt-free has come up from time to time. Turns out my kids don't really care. They're adults with their own lives. And, as my daughter said, and I've mentioned this in another video, no house or amount of money that she would inherit would bring her dad back, so she didn't care. Now, whether or not to sell your house is something you need to consider for yourself, and consider it carefully. In my case, giving up the living space that I have to move into a condo or an apartment where I have to deal with common areas and people living on top of each other, separated by paper-thin walls, doesn't appeal to me. It's not a win for me. I'm not doing it. Renting for me is out of the question. For one, rent on an apartment in my neighborhood and in my area, in my city, is more expensive than my mortgage payment. And while I could sell my house and pay apartment rent from the proceeds of what I get for the house, that means I'm just transferring the equity that I built up to somebody else, one mortgage payment at a time or one rent payment at a time. I'm further ahead staying here. I have a friend who rents my basement, and what he pays me in rent pretty much covers my mortgage payment anyway. So I'll be further ahead staying here than I would by selling. But that's me. That might not be the same case for you. At 65, I began to collect a government pension, plus a very tiny pension that I paid into when I worked in a municipal city job some years ago. It's only a couple $100 a month, but it helps. I was late in starting to contribute to other retirement plans, but I did manage to sock a little bit away. That said, I still have to work part-time to make ends meet. And I stay there because it keeps my mind stimulated, gives me something to do, and it gives me my company benefits, my health and dental benefits. You do what you got to do. We all have taxes, car expenses, light, heat, phone bills, and insurance. Some of us have lines of credit or a credit card or two. Things are tight for everybody all over, and they're only getting tighter. Sometimes I have more than I need in a month, and so I can sock a little bit away in my savings account. Other months, it doesn't quite meet, and I get into that savings and maybe dip into my retirement savings at the same time. Like many folks, I live day to day worrying about the day when I'll go to that well and it's dry, and that last dollar just won't stretch anymore. It's scary times. Now, I'm not a financial genius. I'm not an investment guru, and I'm certainly not a qualified or certified advisor. So I'm not going to give you any kind of financial advice for a number of reasons. One, it might violate the terms of service here on YouTube. It may be afoul of a law somewhere, and it may open me up to civil liability. So I'm just not going to do it. What works for me and where I am in my situation won't necessarily work for you, and so I'm not giving you any advice. That said, I'd be interested in hearing how you're making out, what you're doing to make ends meet, because it might help other people who are watching. So if you have something to suggest, leave a comment below, and as always, keep things civil and respectful. If you like my content, I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. And here's another video you might like. Thanks for watching.